They didn't knock. They didn't announce themselves. They charged in like they owned my life. It started as a normal, peaceful morning. The kind where nothing feels wrong. I was inside my home, minding my own business, when loud shouting erupted outside. Before I could even process what was happening, my front door was forced open. Heavy boots rushed in, furniture was shoved aside, voices barked orders like I was some criminal caught in a raid. The men claimed they were HOA police. I remember thinking, since when does an HOA have police? They wore cheap uniforms that didn't match. Their badges looked rushed and fake. Still, they acted aggressive and confident, like intimidation alone made them legitimate. One of them accused me of violating HOA rules. Another said I was illegally occupying my own property. They started tearing through rooms, knocking things over, opening cabinets, damaging personal belongings. Neighbors gathered outside, whispering and filming, unsure what to believe. I tried to speak calmly, asking for a warrant. That only made them louder. One of them stepped closer, invading my space, telling me to stay quiet and cooperate. That's when I realized this wasn't enforcement. This was harassment disguised as authority. What shocked me most wasn't the fake raid, it was how easily they believed they could get away with it. They assumed I was powerless. Just another homeowner they could bully. They were wrong. Very wrong. Because while they thought they were exposing me, they were actually exposing themselves. Standing behind the chaos was the real mastermind, the HOA president. She didn't lift a finger. She didn't shout. She just watched, arms crossed, with a smug smile that said everything. This wasn't about rules. This was personal. For months, she had been obsessed with controlling my life. Complaints about my truck. Complaints about guests. Complaints about imaginary violations. None of it was real. None of it was in the bylaws. But she needed power, and I refused to give it to her. That refusal enraged her. She had warned me before. The HOA has authority, she said. You'll learn one way or another. This was her way. She told neighbors I was dangerous. That I was uncooperative. That drastic action was needed. Then she hired fake security, dressed them up like police, and gave them permission, no, encouragement, to storm my home. She pointed at me and loudly announced, "This is what happens when someone disrespects the HOA." In that moment, she truly believed she was above the law. That her title protected her. That fear made her powerful. But arrogance always makes one fatal mistake. It forgets that real authority exists. And when fake power challenges real law, the collapse is brutal. As the fake officers continued tearing through my home, one of them grabbed my arm and ordered me to sit down. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't resist. I simply said, calmly, "I'm making one phone call." They laughed. The HOA president rolled her eyes like I was bluffing. I dialed a number I had memorized long ago. Within minutes, the atmosphere changed. Sirens echoed down the street, but not the kind they expected. Real law enforcement arrived. Real vehicles. Real uniforms. Real authority. The fake officers immediately started backing away. Their confidence evaporated the second genuine badges stepped onto the scene. The lead officer approached me. I handed him my credentials. His expression changed instantly. His posture straightened. "Yes, sir," he said. The entire street went silent. That's when the truth landed like a hammer. I wasn't just a homeowner. I was a federal sheriff. The fake officers looked terrified. The HOA president's face drained of color. What they thought was a power move had turned into a federal offense, impersonating law enforcement, unlawful entry, property destruction. And now, they weren't in charge anymore. They were suspects. Everything unraveled fast. The fake officers were separated and questioned. None had valid credentials. None were licensed. Their authority was nothing more than costumes and confidence. Every lie fell apart under real investigation. The HOA president tried to talk her way out. First, she claimed ignorance. Then she blamed the fake officers. Then she blamed me. None of it worked. Organizing a fake police raid isn't a mistake, it's a crime. A serious one. Neighbors who once feared her now watched in disbelief as she was escorted away for questioning. The same woman who terrorized the community suddenly couldn't say a word without legal counsel. The damage to my home was documented. Statements were taken. Charges followed. Power doesn't vanish quietly, it collapses loudly. And when it does, everyone sees the truth. That day, The illusion of HOA supremacy died in front of the entire neighborhood. That day changed everything. The HOA was eventually dissolved. Legal consequences followed, and the neighborhood finally felt free again, free from intimidation, fear, and fake authority. I never used my position to threaten anyone. I never raised my voice. I let the law speak for itself. And that's the real lesson. Entitled people believe titles make them powerful. They believe control equals authority. They believe bullying works forever. It doesn't. Because real power doesn't scream. It doesn't intimidate. It doesn't pretend. It simply exists. So if you ever encounter someone abusing authority, remember this story. Remember that arrogance blinds people to reality. And remember, karma doesn't need permission to arrive. Sometimes, the person you try to intimidate is the one who enforces the law.